everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin, the man here himself. We are knee deep into some NFL football. We have finished up Week 8, about to start Week 9. None of our teams are good, but we still love NFL football. Before we get started here, thanks again to SevereTV.com for setting us up here in studio. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Got a little Josh Allen signed helmet, little Baker Mayfield signed helmet here. Be sure and check them out. Christmas is coming up.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. We're about to get into it. This is probably my favorite time of the year. I love fall. I love the time I love November and December. I love the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas on up into the New Year's. That's one of my favorite times of the year. That, and I love spring too, but this is just probably my favorite. But let's go ahead and jump in. Let's cover Week 8. What happened in Week 8? Thursday.
We got the Rams beat the Vikings. The Vikings on their second straight loss after a 5-0 start.
I would not have picked that, but
Puka Nacua came back.
That's what Puka looked pretty good. He came in and was Puka,
and he was Nacua.
He did not come in cold. So the Rams came in and won by a cool 10 points, and they were consistent. They scored 7 points, 7 points, 7 points, and 9 points.
Very consistent.
Very, very consistent. The Vikings started off hot 14, but then only scored 6 the whole rest of the game.
That's because they stopped targeting Justin Jefferson. Target your best player.
I don't know. Maybe Sam Darnold. I was surprised by the start to begin with, honest. Maybe the Sam Darnold experiment has come back down to earth.
We'll see over the next few weeks.
We will see over the next week. The definite best team in that division is Detroit, which we'll talk about in a minute. Let's go ahead and get our two teams out of the way. The Panthers at the Broncos. You actually picked that one.
Go ahead and give me I've got the shovel right here.
You've got a 3-level condo built where you're digging your hole, aren't you?
Actually, it's 4 levels because my team made Bryce Young. I don't think he only threw what's his stats?
Young, he threw for 224 yards. Not bad. 24 of 37, 224, 2 TDs.
I'm going to give him a condo.
The defense is
the worst in the league.
This defense is not too bad.
The defense is I can't find the phrase for it.
Now, the offensive line is still...
The offensive line still can't block for him.
It's going to take some definite rebuilding.
Then can David Tepper do that, though? Is he competent enough to run a franchise, though? That's what you have to think.
Hopefully he would leave it to the GM and let the GM do the work and just stand in the shadows. We don't know if he's going to be that way yet.
He's been pretty meddling. I don't know. He's been pretty meddling.
He is pretty meddling. But the Panthers also traded
Deontay Johnson to the Ravens, so
the Ravens lose a game this week, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
If you're wondering why I don't sound as emotional as I've had in the past few weeks, is because
you're sort of numb to it.
I'm numb to it, and besides, I've focused all of my energy trying to build the 4th level of that wormhole.
Yeah. Well, I want to jump right in with you. The Cowboys took on the 49ers and lost 30-24. We've actually got we have adjoining condos down in the dirt there where we keep digging our holes. The Cowboys are lost 30-24, and now they are a whopping 3-4. And again, I
put the heat on Jerry Jones.
I told you, I picked at the beginning of the season they're a 7-10 team, not because of talent, but because ownership.
Because of Jerry Boy. Speaking of Jerry, put the pressure on him. Put the pressure on him.
But he's not going to fire himself.
That's what I'm saying. Put the pressure on him.
No. Maybe if people keep on hammering him enough, he'll realize that he's the only consistent problem over the past 29 years.
It's sad that it's reaching 30 years.
The general manager has given you a failing project for 29 years straight, and you keep bringing him back the next year because he's the owner.
We actually had a debate, and he tried to debunk the theory of David Tepper being the worst owner in the league just by saying that Jerry Jones has took a franchise that was so good over the 70s and the 90s. They were amongst the cream of the crop.
They were America's team. People,
at least back in the 70s and the 90s, they were definitely that.
People still love the Cowboys. They're one of the most
Valuable
franchises in the NFL. But they went from a consistent winner
in the 70s
to-
and 90s.
They're a joke now. I mean, they're
It's like everybody pokes fun at that star now. It's like a 1-star rating now.
yeah. I'm a Cowboys fan. I watched Staubach throw to Pearson live. I
you've
watched
watched
Dorset
Emmett?
run
You've
live.
you've watched Emmett and Troy.
And I watched
and
Troy
Mike
and
Irvin.
Emmett. I watched Danny White. I watched all of them, and I'm more disappointed now than I ever have been in the history of the Cowboys franchise.
No,
Not because of the talent we got, but because of where the team is. But I'm gonna get off of Jerry Jones. He is what he is, and he's gonna be what he is until he ain't.
We're gonna continue down this trudge of misery here with the Jets.
We are on a
Patriots.
trail of misery. The Jets at the Patriots.
Do you know what's a very, very important, emphatic statement on this?
What?
Alan Piercy, my dear friend, who I've talked to
He's
many
a
times.
he's a Jets fan. What's up, Big Al?
He's talked about it when you play so poorly that you get Al to get on Facebook,
And put a "woe is me" statement, about how bad the Jets are.
and he couldn't believe it.
He's the same as me. He'll be a Jets fan till he dies. I'll be a Cowboys fan till I die. Neither one of us are very happy with their teams right now.
And can you?
But-
I don't blame Allen one bit because
Yeah.
they stink right
they're
now.
they're pretty bad right now.
Todd Downing is an incompetent play caller. He always has been, and I'm surprised. I'm gonna get on the owner too because he's a clown too.
Well,
Woody Johnson,
who's the offensive coordinator?
Todd Downing,
Todd Downey's calling the plays, right?
and Nathaniel Hackett's still in the booth giving coffee to Aaron Rodgers.
The combination of Hackett and Downing is one of the worst combinations of offensive minds
In the history
in
of
the history
football
of football.
organization. This
And-
goes back to the leather helmets. This goes back to now.
Yeah.
You can't get more incompetent than that.
If you look back at the history of those two coaches, they have been terrible at every stop
And the owner
coming into this situation.
and the Jets owner Woody Johnson said,
Let's
"Let's
put 'em-
hire both of them."
Let's put them both together.
And you wonder why the Jets haven't. It's because of him and his ownership. He's incompetent.
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know how. If I was terrible at my job and I failed miserable at my job, why would you want to hire me?
And Woody Johnson has had the Jets on a 14-year approaching playoff list streak. Not playoff streak, but playoff lists.
It's not 29 years.
But that's still not very good.
That's not good. Yeah.
But for
The
Al's
Jets
sake,
deserve better. The Jets are a storied franchise. I've actually got a soft spot for the Jets. I like the Jets. I like Aaron Rodgers too. It's just sad to see the situation. Aaron Rodgers is super uber talented, but he's not talented enough to get over the combination of Hackett and Downing. They are terrible.
but the Jet fans deserve better. Big Al deserves better than this.
Aaron Rodgers deserves better.
The players deserve better, and
Yeah.
the fan base all across the gangrene. Everybody in the Jets organization, they deserve better than this.
Yeah, let's jump on now. We had the Eagles at the Bengals. The Eagles are super talented. They pulled out the talent card in this one.
Even though Kellen Moore's the play caller, and I think that might hurt them down the line.
It will hurt them when it comes to playoff time, because Kellen Moore can win some preseason games or some regular season games. He's not going to win you any postseason games unless talent overcomes the bad play calling.
That can happen.
We had the Packers Jaguars. The Jaguars continue their fall, which is that's probably one of the most shocking.
Just fall to irrelevance.
2 years ago, they were the Cinderella, the up-and-comer, going to take over the division, win the division, maybe be a playoff team.
Then Houston's taking over that role now.
And now they can't win a game.
And the Packers are 6-2 on the other flip side. We've been so negative on this episode. I want to do something positive.
Jordan Love.
Doing
Yes.
well. He's doing pretty well.
Doing pretty good. We had the Titans line. Let's get negative again.
Yep, let's get negative again. The Titans are the worst
The Titans
team in
are the
football.
worst team. They are our dumpster fire.
The
of
Lions
week.
not only beat them, but beat them down.
When you lose in the NFL by 38 points,
That's a disgrace. That's an embarrassment.
you
That's
don't-
a
you
no-show.
You don't give up 38 points. You give up 52 points.
In the third quarter, they could have made it worse.
It could have been worse.
That's a disgrace.
The Titans are probably the worst team in the NFL right now.
Do you know
The
what I don't like,
Panthers are
though?
right there close to them, but
Do you know
the
what I don't
Titans
like?
are
When a
terrible.
team has no heart. That's what the Titans are. They have no heart. They have no
traded away
passion.
all of their talent and brought
I'm starting
in.
to question their heart and passion, too. I mean, when you're getting beat by 38, what are the coaches doing? What are the players doing? What are they doing in practice?
It's time for that franchise. And we said, what was it, like 3 years ago, teams peak. They'll start from scratch and they'll build up. They'll be a pretty good team, and then get to be a great team. And there's just a few seasons, 2, 3, 4 years, maybe 5 years at the most, that you're in that maximum capacity. And if you don't take advantage of that, then you start going down the other side. Now the Titans are on the
very
valley of the other side of that hill. Just a few years ago, they were in the title game, the AFC title game.
And then they went down the hill because of bad management.
Bad management. They got rid of some
and
key
ownership
players.
problems.
And ownership problems, and they ended up going down. And now they're at the bottom, so they're in complete rebuild mode. It's time to flush it and start over. We had the Falcons Buccaneers. This was a competitive game. The Falcons are they a good team?
Are they bad? I don't know.
I don't know either.
They're up and down just like the team's been over the past couple of years.
They can lose one at home that they should have won, and then they can come on the road to the Bucs that they should have lost and win it. The Falcons are first place
Yep.
in their division.
And the Buccaneers.
What?
And yeah, that's crazy. Baker Mayfield had his interceptions here. I'm not gonna
No.
absolve him from blame. He did throw some picks,
Mm-hmm.
but Todd Bowles, way to
How do you give up 31 points if you're a defensive-minded coach? I don't know. At home, I don't know. The Bucks. And again, I'm a Todd Bowles fan as a defensive coordinator.
but as a head coach,
I'm not a
he's
Todd
not-
Bowles fan as a head coach. It takes a lot of talent to overcome the bad head coaching there, to be honest. We had the Cardinals at the Dolphins.
Tua returns, yay!
That was
but-
a good competitive game.
And then the Cardinals got the win, and they're on top of the NFC West,
The Falcons are leading,
NFC South,
and the Cardinals are leading.
the NFC West, right now.
So we have Detroit, Philadelphia.
No, we have Detroit and Washington.
Oh yeah, Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders,
Atlanta-
Arizona Cardinals,
Atlanta
and
Falcons.
Oakland Falcons. That's your 4 division leaders in NFC.
Right now.
What?
That's crazy.
This has been one of the football is upside down right now. We had speaking of upside down, we had the Ravens at the Browns. Should have been a blowout. Jameis Winston.
Got the
I
win.
love Jameis Winston. I do love him. He's a show on his own. He should have lost the game. There should have been a pick with like a minute left,
But they drop it.
and it literally bounced off the guy like a little rubber ball. And the very next play, he throws the game-winning touchdown.
Yep, that's
love
totally Jameis Winston.
I love Jameis. I love watching. He's so entertaining. His interviews. I'm a Jameis Winston fan. I am.
But Ken Dorsey actually didn't do too bad in this
it wasn't
one.
too bad.
Well, I was kind of thinking to myself, Ken Dorsey, and this could only go one way, the good way or the bad way, and it went
It
mostly
went
the good way.
He's a 50-50er. Sometimes he might be good, sometimes he might be bad. But the Ravens, immediately after losing, pick up your wide receiver from Carolina. So they were like, I don't want to do that again. We had the Colts-Texans, a very competitive game. The Texans ended up winning. The Texans have took a step back this year, and some controversy or some injuries and stuff after this game. First of all, for the Texans,
Stephon Diggs is out for the year with an ACL tear.
he tore his ACL in the game, so he's out for
and
the
the
year.
offensive line is having issues, surprisingly, trying to block for CJ.
Yeah. So the Texans have took a little sophomore slump here. They've took a little step back,
But they're still 6-2.
but they're still leading the division.
And Nico Collins, their injured wide receiver, is 1 week away from coming back, so
Mm-hmm.
that'll give him some help.
On the Colts side, Richardson was injured and came back, and He got winded and took himself out of the game a couple plays, which is strange. And now he has been benched.
He only has a 44% completion percentage this year
Why did they pick Richardson so high to begin with?
because of his raw talent, right? Because he can move like a gazelle. He can throw the
How
ball
does that
so
make
far
you-
down the field.
How does that make you a good quarterback?
Well,
I can throw for 80 yards and run really fast. But I can only complete 44% of my passes, apparently.
that's what the scouts fool you with. It's
I
up
don't
here.
know.
It's up here.
Yeah,
It's not.
quarterback is right here. It's from here to here.
Do you know what?
It's not right here. I mean, seriously, look at Detroit's quarterback.
Jared Goff.
Can he run?
He can't.
He can't run from the bench to the playing field that well. he's not a runner.
He's a pocket passer.
And what is he? Probably the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
He's completing almost every pass.
He went through a 3-game stretch arc where he completed 80% of his passes.
That's
more than
nuts.
80% of his
That's
passes.
nuts.
Why? Because it's
Up here.
quarterbacking is up here. It's not in
Yeah.
can you outrun somebody or throw for 80 yards. And the NFL is trying to get away from the intellectual pocket quarterback, but that's what wins games. Saints, Chargers. The Saints continue.
Their descent.
Kamara got a 2-year extension
Den-
for like $12.5 million.
Dennis Allen needs to go.
Good for Kamara.
Dennis Allen needs to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond time. I've criticized him last year for
Yeah.
not coaching them well.
They're even worse this year. Yeah, 26-8. That was pretty bad. We had the Bills at the Seahawks. The Bills are gelling.
And the
Seahawks
Seahawks
are
are kind of
not.
middling.
The Seahawks are going down. They had a very short peak window. They peaked last year, but it was a sharp spot.
Yeah, but Pete Carroll, that's the obvious missing.
They lost 31-10 at home. When's the last time Seahawks lost at home by 21 points?
A very long time before Pete Carroll got there.
Yeah, exactly. We had the Bears and the Commanders. This was a very, very entertaining game of rookie quarterbacks.
Fighting off, and one rookie had the play of his career. I'm not gonna just beat around the bush here.
No,
the play of his career.
When you throw a Hail Mary from the opponent's 35-yard line
and you get it, and you make it,
and you win the game on a
tip drill.
on a 65-yard Hail Mary,
How about that? How about that?
man, that was electric.
That was
I'm
electric.
not a Commander fan, and I'm not a Bear fan. I was just sort of neutral watching the game, but that will be shown every year for the rest of his career. That
Yep.
was just one of those plays. Chiefs Raiders. The Chiefs again find a way to win.
And and the refs maybe, but I'm not gonna just get into that.
Yeah, they've always got that 12th man on the field. One of the refs. But 27-20, the Raiders they changed out some assistant coaches from last year to this year, and they look worse for it.
Yep.
They're definitely not the better team for it. We had Monday Night Football, Giants, Steelers. The Steelers keep on winning.
And let's continue this running gag. Jalen Hyatt, 0 catches for 0 targets and 0 catches for 0 yards.
I don't know. I don't understand. All right, let's jump into our Week 9 predictions. We have the Texans Jets on Thursday night. The Jets are actually favored by 2 because the Texans have been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, but the Jets have definitely struggled more. So I'm gonna say Houston.
Houston should win this game.
They should.
They should win this game. The Jets are favored by 2. Jump into Sunday. Let's go ahead and cover our 2 teams and get that over with. The Saints, as bad as the Saints are at the Panthers, favored by 7.5.
That shows you how far we've sunk into the abyss.
The Saints scored 8 points the entire game last week, and they're favored by 7.5 over the Panthers.
If they win by that much, I'll convince myself we're gonna just need.
The Panthers should cover 7.5 points, shouldn't they?
They should, but
I mean,
David Tepper.
even if it's a 17-13 game, that's just 4 points.
it's just It's David Tepper.
If it's
Anything's
17
possible.
If
with
it's
David
17 to
Tepper.
10, it's just a 7 points. Honestly, I'm gonna pick the Panthers plus 7.5. That's
You could go ahead and be my optimism, but it's just
yeah. I know you think they're gonna lose by 30 every week, but the Saints are bad. Cowboys, Falcons by 120. I'm the same way. It doesn't matter. Now, the Falcons are at home and should beat the Cowboys by 10 points, which means the Cowboys are probably going to win it because the Falcons.
are inconsistent.
But I'm going to pick the Falcons are only favored by 2.5. I'm actually pretty comfortable with that. The Cowboys are in a spiral right now. The Dolphins, Bills. With Tua back, it makes it a little more scary, but they're at Buffalo.
And the Bills should win this game.
The Bills should win the game. It's -6. Broncos, Ravens.
Give me Baltimore
give me
here.
Baltimore coming off of a loss at home, and they just picked up a new toy wide receiver. The line's 9.5. I'm actually pretty comfortable with that. Chargers, Browns.
Will they continue the good momentum?
This is a very good game. As far as entertainment purposes goes, this should be a very good game to watch. I am a Herbert fan. I love the quarterback of the Chargers. Harbaugh's an interesting head coach. He's a first-year head coach there. The Browns, though, with Jameis Winston, is a
You never know what
a
you're going to
joy.
get.
I'm actually going to pick the Browns to win. The Chargers are favored by 1.5, but they're traveling all the way from L.A. up to the Browns. So
You wanna pick the Browns on a winning streak?
Browns on a 2-game winning streak. How about that? Somebody in our family needs to have joy. Raiders, Bengals.
I'm going to pick Cincy here.
I'm going to pick Cincy here
for
too.
my producer in the back.
The Raiders are again. They're struggling this year finding their identity.
And the
since they
Bengals
changed
will
their coach.
exploit that.
And the Bengals again at home, coming off of a loss, should actually win that game. The Washington Commanders at the Giants. I'll take the Commanders. The line's -4. I'm saying -9. I'm saying the Commanders handled the Giants rather easily.
And the W's will be 7-2 after this. And that's a good prediction.
yeah.
But if Jalen Hyatt gets a catch, one catch,
I don't. He doesn't get a catch.
you don't think he gets a catch?
No. They're 2-6 and they're doomed. We have the Patriots at Titans.
Speaking of doomed, this whole episode's been doom and gloom.
Yeah, this is the doom and gloom game, ain't it? I mean, you've got the Patriots, which is a brand new team trying to build itself with a brand new head coach. I love Gerard Mayo. He's the head coach for the Patriots. The Titans
Are just
are the worst team in the NFL right now. But can the Patriots go into Nashville and win? Yes. Okay. Okay. That's it. Patriots plus 3.5. We got the Bears, Cardinals. This will actually be a very interesting game. Cardinals are leading their division. Bears.
trying to get back in the playoff race.
I'm still probably going to go Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 1.5.
Pick the Birds.
Take the Cardinals. Jaguars, Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, Jaguars are just struggling right now. They're really. I don't know. We need to look into the Jaguars and see what they've changed over the past 2 years that have took them downhill, because they went on a 2-year trajectory the wrong direction. Lions, Packers. This should be a good game.
Now that's a good division deciding game, possibly.
Yep.
Going down the year.
Yep. Detroit's favored by 3.5. I'm actually pretty comfortable with the. With
I think
Lions
Detroit's
winning
better.
that. I think Detroit's just a better team. Rams, Seahawks.
Give me the Rams.
I'm going to pick the Rams too. The Seahawks losing 2 games at home back to back. Yes. I think they're in that position. Seahawks, the Rams are favored by 1.5. I'm taking that. Colts, Vikings.
Sunday night.
Flacco is back as the quarterback of the Colts.
And that alone, I think, will help the Colts win. I'm going to pick a Colts victory here.
You think the Vikings lose 3 in a row?
If they need to target Justin Jefferson, if they do that, then I can change my pick. But
Yeah.
it's really depends on the Vikings themselves.
You've got +5, so you can be Colts +5 on that one. That's actually not a bad pick. It's probably going to be a 3-point game. And then our Monday night game of the week, this should be a very good game too. Buccaneers at Chiefs.
America's favorite team in the Kansas City Chiefs
Yep.
against Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles. I'm going to pick Kansas City right now.
Kansas City's favored by 7. Do you think they pull 7?
Who's the offensive coordinator? That should decide it.
Danny?
Matt,
No, Matt
Nagy.
Nagy.
The Nag.
I'm going to go Buccaneers +7. I don't think the Buccaneers will win, but I think they keep it close. I do think Kansas City wins. I think they find
Some sort of
officiating error,
or sort of.
voodoo, something, to where they win it. But I like the Bucks +7. That is the NFL again for weeks 8 and 9. Hope you had a little fun with us. Be sure and share us with your friends. Leave a comment or two. Tell us what you think about it. Thanks again for Severe TV for setting us up here, and for Autographs Plus sponsoring us. Be sure and check them out. And then we will see you
Next week.